Welcome to Beyond the Blitz, the podcast that shines a spotlight on the playmakers, shot callers, and yes, even the bench warmers who bring sports to life in North Alabama. Each episode, we dive into exclusive coach interviews to uncover what makes them tick, break down the latest scores and highlights on the scoreboard, and preview the matchups you'll be talking about next week. Now, here's your host, Chris Bolden.
So we want to welcome Coach Chris Graves from Albertville. He's the boys basketball head coach. Just to give you a little background on Coach Graves. Coach Graves is in his second season at Albertville. Prior to that, he spent 13 seasons at Birmingham Southern as the head coach. He was there for a total of 16. He was a 3-time regular season champ, 2-time conference tournament champ, 3 NCAA tournament appearances, and 1 regional appearance while at Birmingham Southern. Prior to that, he spent some time at Pell City High School, where he was named St. Clair County Coach of the Year in 2008, and at Columbia Central High School in Tennessee, where he was a 2-time District Coach of the Year. So we want to welcome you, Coach Chris Graves.
Thanks for having me. I'm looking forward to kicking this off with you guys.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we're proud you were here. You're our first guest here with this podcast, so a little something new we're doing. So we want to just kind of get into a little bit. So we're going to break this up in the segments. We're going to do it by quarters, being we're in basketball. So with that, we're going to get into this first quarter here. And so what we want to do, Coach, if you could just give us a little bit of background about you. If you could tell us where you were born, raised, just a little bit about that, if you.
Sure. I grew up in Fort Worth, Texas, in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and spent my whole childhood there. Was in one house my whole life, and went to a school called Lake Country there in Fort Worth, and played both basketball and baseball in high school, and sports always came relatively easy to me, I guess, and so was lucky enough to get to go on to a school called John Brown University, which is in Arkansas, for basketball. It's about 45 minutes from Fayetteville, so it was a far cry, about a town of 8 to 10,000, moving from a city of several million. So it was a big change, and a lot like here. There was a lot of poultry, a lot of chicken houses around, because Tyson, the head of Tyson, is right there. So, but anyways, it was a great experience. I had a great childhood, some awesome parents. My dad was a finance guy, and my mom worked at State Farm. I have a little brother who is a computer guy. He got all the brains in the family. So here I am, just coaching.
You got the athleticism, apparently, then maybe, I guess.
Well, I don't know. I had a lot of will.
I got you. I understand. All right, well, just a little bit in that. So you said you played baseball and basketball in high school. So what positions did you play in baseball?
So I was a shortstop most of my career, and they made me a center fielder, I guess, in my senior year, and that was really fun. Baseball for me was the one place where I felt no pressure, because I had a lot of, with recruiting and everything else, I always felt a lot of pressure, and so baseball I just went and played, and it was a fun sport.
Basketball-wise, what positions did you play in basketball?
I was just a point guard. I'm just not real tall, so that was my only option.
I got you. Same thing when you went into college, you was just point guard?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, so college-wise, just give us a little bit of background in college. What did you major in, kind of studying all in college there?
Well, I originally went in, and I was a pre-med major for my first couple of years of college. As it worked out, I had some injuries and didn't get to carry out the career I hoped. And so when basketball went away, I thought I would try to be a doctor. I had seen a lot of orthopedic surgeons through my years with injuries. And I got a couple years into it, and just really the academic load wasn't necessarily too much, but I wasn't loving it when we got into clinical stuff. And the coach who recruited me was a tremendous man named John Sheehy, and he came to me and he said, "Chris, I really always thought you were supposed to be a coach." And so he and I met, and I came on and started helping, I guess, the last 2 years of college. I helped as a student assistant there at John Brown, and he taught me the ropes of how to coach and how to recruit and everything else, and really launched me into my career, because we were right down the road, but he had a friendship with Nolan Richardson over at Arkansas. Mm-hmm. When I graduated, he got me a graduate assistant job at the University of Arkansas, and I went and worked. We had a pretty good team that won the SEC that year, and Coach Richardson was kind enough to let me stay on and hire me into a more full-time role for that second year, and so I went from a relatively small college to work coaching in Rupp and getting to ride private planes and everything else. It was a wild world. We've done a lot of it, but really cool experience and got to learn a lot. Coach Sheehy was definitely one of the men who mentored me and guided me about what's really important in coaching and what it's all about.
Okay, all right. So just I guess one of those things. We were kind of talking before the podcast. Growing up, some kids, when they see some pretty cool stuff, they see the garbage man. Back in the day, we used to have the garbage guys riding on the back of the truck. That was one of the coolest jobs. Some kids wanted to be that. So growing up, what was your thing you wanted to be? You said you didn't really come up as a coach or want to be a coach. What did you want to be growing up?
Well, I didn't realize that 5'10" guys don't get to be NBA players, so I really thought I was going to be an NBA player. You got to be a different kind of athlete than I was. And I think I had no clue. I was just really having fun. I certainly didn't foresee myself going into coaching, but basketball always made sense to me. I liked it. Just I could watch it on TV and it made sense what was happening, and I had really supportive parents, and they'd watch it with me, and so that part made sense. But I don't know that I really had a plan.
I got you. Anything from high school or college wise that really stands out that you would go back and kind of use as an opportunity to be able to say, hey, this is something that I learned to try to pass on to kids now that you're coaching, or even your own kids? Yeah,
I think the primary thing I learned is that ball will stop bouncing, and you don't know when it's going to stop. And so you can't have your identity built in yourself as a player. You've got to be have a lot more character. And I think that there's no better builder of character than sports. I think that athletics is life's greatest workshop. A guy I used to work for named Joe Dean at Birmingham Southern used to say that. And so it's a tremendous opportunity to learn lessons. And one of the things I learned is when it gets really hard, you don't quit. And so, when injuries ended my career, it couldn't be the end of my life. You got to have some other stuff going on. And so we try to pass that on to our guys, and we want to learn every lesson we can. But ultimately, I don't think our calling is to win the most games ever won as a coach. We're trying to build men, and so we're lucky enough to get to use sports to do it.
Yeah, and that's the thing about this podcast that we really want to give y'all, you guys and ladies as coaches, an opportunity to be able to tell is to get to know you better as a coach, more so than just a person by their numbers of wins and losses, but truly what are you doing and how are you impacting the kids and that kind of thing, so people can get to really know you and everything. So that's awesome to hear that, because that's one of the things I really love about coaching and being around coaches and stuff. So if you could tell us a little bit about your time in Birmingham Southern. I know we kind of covered you were there for 13 years. You were a 3-time regular season champ and some of the conference tourney. Tell us a little bit about that if you don't care.
Well, Birmingham Southern was a great place. I was really sad to see it go, and I guess I was an optimist. I didn't see it coming as much as some probably did. But it was an unbelievable place with a great basketball tradition. I think I probably learned more about basketball in my time at Birmingham Southern than I learned my entire life before then. I was lucky enough to come up, and there was a guy named Coach Dwayne Riebel, who was he's in the Alabama Sports Hall of Fame, and he's just a tremendous coach that coached there before me. And during my early years, he was around a whole lot because he was still teaching some classes on campus, and he taught me. He just taught me the game. He was an unbelievable mentor. Came to a lot of our practices, spent a lot of time with me, and was a tremendous impact on my life. But we had unbelievable kids. They were great students. They were great people, and they were pretty good players. We won a lot of ball games and had a fun, big time home court advantage. And it was a really, really good experience at Birmingham Southern. I absolutely love that place. And I planned to coach there until I retired, and that just didn't work out that way. But I absolutely, more than anything, I value and love the kids that we coached, and now they've grown up, and it's like, when you coach kids, they're like when I was young, it's like they were almost like little brothers to me because I was a young head coach, and then as I got a little older, they become like sons. But then now they're all getting older, so now they have their own kids, and they're all a bunch of coaches and stuff going around, so now it's like they're brothers again. So we have a tremendous fraternity of former players and coaches that we all still hang out together and spend time talking to each other. And I was on a group chat with them just this morning, kind of reminiscing over some old times. So I think that's the good stuff,
Yeah. So speaking of that, is there any players or particular teams during that 13 years, or actually 16 years that you were there, that really stand out to you that that you kind of would want to bring up or anything?
Oh boy, do you want to publicly talk about your kids and which one you like?
I'm not saying that. I'm just any of them that really stood out to you.
Yeah, we had some really neat groups of kids. When I first got there, we had a group that we were ranked in the top 10 for their entire time that they were there, and won 3 out of 4 conference championships for that group, and they were a fun group, and unbelievable guys. One of them's an anesthesiologist, another's a college basketball coach, another guy's a lawyer, a DA. Another guy's brother coaches at DAR, and now he's the head coach over at Oglethorpe. So the Jonases were, but all just unbelievable kids. And then we had a team. Goodness, I get the years mixed up, but somewhere in the middle there, we had a team that I remember because of their development. They're unbelievable kids, but we started off the season, I think we were like 2-7, and just started bad. And we were playing really good teams, so he thought we were going to have a good team, and it just wasn't going our way. And we turned that thing around, and we won 21 games in a row, went to the Sweet 16, and in the last game in the Sweet 16, we played a team early in the season who was really good. They're number 2 or 3 in the country, and they beat us by 35, which is a team like that just didn't happen very very often. I mean, it was embarrassing. Mm-hmm. And we played them in the Sweet 16, and we lost in overtime on a last shot. But just to see the development of a team, to go from just getting whipped that bad to we really put it to them, and I sure wish we had won that one because that would have felt better. But nonetheless, just guys like that are unbelievable. We had a group a little bit later that went undefeated throughout the regular season and the conference tournament, and that was fun. But probably the group I'll remember most is we had towards the end we had a kid that passed away in his sleep with a heart thing, and we had a group of kids that really learned how to love each other and learned how to lean on each other, and I was so proud of the way that group finished that season. I thought that they honored each other and honored Colin and the way they played, and so there you remember teams for many different things.
Oh yeah.
But most of all, I just love the kids that we got to coach. They're just unbelievable people, and the guys I got to coach with. We had some great coaches, and I'm really proud of the legacy that we have. We've got several Division I coaches in that group. We've got a guy that's the head coach of one of the WNBA teams, came through our program, and a bunch of high school coaches. They're just a bunch of coaches and lawyers and doctors and one comedian. So I hope he doesn't talk about me too much, but he probably has some good stories. We had fun on those bus trips when he was with us. But just really good people, from top to bottom, really, really good people.
That's awesome. All right. Well, we'll take a break right here, Coach. We'll call this the end of the first quarter, so we'll sound the buzzer there, and we'll take just a moment break right here, and then we'll head into the second quarter right there.
Okay.